Gobble, gobble. Welcome back, everybody, to another hot episode of a very special podcast. This is the podcast which talk about all your favorite TV series from yesteryear and then discuss it over a cool glass of whiskey. And I'm your boy, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here tonight, as always, by my bookstore beauty, Kat Halstead, the author. Ooga. Yeah, welcome back, girl.
Ooh, that was a new one. I like that one.
Yeah, you know what? I was trying to do a new thing. Maybe I'll tie it into the episode that we're doing. I don't know. I don't know if you're down to it. I don't know if you're down to clown to that idea.
I don't know. It kind of depends on what episodes we do.
That is true. That is true. Will we do the client list with Jennifer Love Hewitt? I don't want to call you my, my mistress of the night or something.
You've called me that before, I think.
I think I did. And you were like, excuse me?
I was like, what are you implying, Patrick?
Prerequisite, or pre-note, before we get any further. I want to mention, this is the first time in maybe a year that we're recording after dark.
For real.
So this is our first nighttime episode in a while. Kat's drinking a glass of wine over there. I get whiskey that doesn't have an E in it. I'm a little nervous to drink it.
I'm drinking some Pinot Grigio.
Ooh, barefoot?
No, it's F. Stephen Miller.
Stephen Miller Band.
I got it from nakedwines.com.
Ooh, look at you.
When I did that, wine delivery.
Yeah, all right. I have a hot question for you. So I got some Canadian whiskey, but it's spelled Whisky. So I was a little nervous. So I was I didn't realize that till as I was pouring it into the cup. I was like, is this safe?
Yeah.
Because isn't there an E in whiskey? I feel like there's an E at the end of whiskey.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it was a misprint. Maybe Terrence and Phillip made it for me. I don't know. They're wisecrackers.
I mean, it's also spelled without the E.
Is it? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was going to say a sommelier.
Yeah, it's spelled both ways according to Wikipedia.
Okay, all right. I feel better. Because I was like, wait a second. Is this magic marker water? Someone just put a permanent marker and dipped it in a fucking cup of water for 20 minutes. And here I am.
Yeah, no, I don't think.
All right.
Yeah, I think the good fancy stuff doesn't have, the Scotch whiskey doesn't have an E. I think you have Scotch.
I don't know.
No, because even the, Maker's Mark doesn't have an E.
I don't know. I went to Total Wine and I was looking for Crown Peach. And the lady's like, you like Crown Peach? And I was like, I fucking love Crown Peach. And she's like, well, guess what?
That's why I'm looking for it.
She's like, I got something better for you. And she sold me this bottle. It was $20 cheaper, and I was like, you know what, based on your very convincing words, you got me. And I bought all 4 of them that they had because they had 4 bottles there.
Oh my god.
I'm stocking up for the winter. You know me, I'm like the grasshopper and the ant. It's the ants that stock up, right? And the grasshopper's having fun. Well, speaking of winter coming soon, it's getting cooler out there. It's getting darker a little bit earlier, and I don't know. There's another holiday brewing, right? Am I right, girl? Am I right?
One of the best holidays that doesn't get a lot of love.
No.
It kind of just pops up. People spend the day waiting to go shopping.
Yeah, maybe they watch a parade or two.
So,
Or 2. There's only 1, right?
Well, this year, no.
There's more than 1? Wait.
We don't get a parade this year.
What?
We don't get a parade this year.
No Macy's Day Parade?
No, they're gonna splice together stuff from the past.
Ooh.
Because of the virus.
Ooh, so we're gonna get clips from yesteryear,
I guess. All of a sudden, Underdog's gonna be running away or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know that didn't happen. That was Friends episode, but you get the point. The Cat in the Hat's gonna be deflating and almost killing Al Roker or whatever happened. And then next you get 1970s Underdog or something. I don't know.
Are we gonna get Brian Gumbel live from a fake Times Square next to I don't know, Kathy Lee Gifford?
Maybe
talking. Oh, you know what? Hold on. You know what we need to do this year? For actual Thanksgiving Day?
What?
We need to do a special episode.
Oh my god.
Of us doing
parade commentary?
Yes. We gotta do it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the logistics. You know what?
Oh my god.
If we get 1 Patreon subscriber today, that will give us enough energy and money to I don't know, buy the technology,
motivation,
the $7
to bring you more wild, wacky adventures.
Yeah, that $7 wire that we need to connect us to the machine that will play the old Macy's Day Thanksgiving parade clips for you. So you know what? Show notes right now. Log in the show notes. You know what? Just sign up for any one of our tiers and you'll get some fun stuff. I don't know. You still got a couple weeks. You got what, like 2 weeks? 2 weeks to get there?
2-3 weeks.
In the real world. But in our world, it's like October 1st. So we got fucking months to plan this out.
Yeah, we got months.
We got months. You know what? We just dropped a Rugrats episode in like our world. And you guys, it's probably snowing where you are right now. Like, who knows? Who knows? Disney World shut down again. Sorry, Heather. Sorry, girl.
Sorry, Heather.
It's Thanksgiving, sort of.
In podcast world, yes.
Yes, in our imaginary world where it's the future, Thanksgiving is among us. There's turkeys away everywhere. They're all over the place.
God is my witness. I thought turkeys could fly.
They're falling from the sky. They're chasing after you like zombies, like on an episode of South Park. What a wild 2020. Anyway, for our first Thanksgiving episode, because I think we got a few of them planned for you this year. We got a few turkey treats for you. We got a few dessert dishes.
Yes. We got some turkey. We got some side dishes. We got some pie, and of course, we got the Watergate salad.
Oh fuck yeah! We got the Watergate salad, which is Kat's specialty. I've never had it, but I can't wait to have it. But you know what? This is a good year because what's his name just came out with that book. The Watergate guy just came out with that hot book.
Oh yeah.
Timely recipe. You know, we'll repost it this week. All right. So, what classic television series? Not even a classic television series. This is like a one-season wonder.
It's a one-season wonder.
Oh yeah, for sure. What one-season wonder that starred television legends are we dipping into this week?
Okay, we have been blessed by YouTube.
Hashtag thankful.
Completely blessed.
What are you thankful for this year?
We are so very thankful for the person who uploaded this episode of George and Leo.
Yes, and what is George and Leo? What the hell is George and Leo Caniston?
Okay, George and Leo is a sitcom from 1997-98.
Oh yeah.
That starred Bob Newhart, Judd Hirsch, Jason Bateman, and Robyn Lively.
Shout out to Robyn Lively. You may know her from Teen Witch, I believe, right? Is that her claim to fame?
Teen Witch or Savannah.
Oh, yeah, fuck. I forgot she was in Savannah. I was thinking of Jamie Lunar for some reason.
No, she was the other one. Not the blonde, but she was the other one.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
In Savannah with Jamie and the blonde.
We had two vixens on Savannah. Oh. How is that show not a thing? How are we not talking about that right now? I mean, we are, but...
I don't know, because we can't find full episodes of it.
One day we will. You know what? Joe from Twitter out there right now, tweet us at Friday Podcast to listen to this, and you have to have like 3 episodes on VHS in Grandma's attic. You're just cleaning out the attic. And she was a big Savannah fan back in the day. Send it to us. We'll forever be in your debt. We'll send you a trinket.
For real.
You know what? We'll invite you to our Macy's Day Parade. Our virtual Macy's Day Parade. We'll let you be a commentator.
Oh my god.
We'll cut over. We'll be like, and Joe on Twitter. We'll cut over. It'll be in front of like a blues. Ooh, we have to do the green screen technology of me, like, standing in my room, but it's like the Macy's Day Parade behind me.
Oh my god.
All right, yes. Please sign up for our Patreon so we can do that technology. Heather, tell all your friends at work. You know what? Like, we'll send you business cards. Leave them around the break room.
Yeah.
People are dying. People are dying for entertainment, and we're here to deliver.
We are here because what else do we have to do?
Yeah. Sorry, this is what you get for a night episode. I apologize.
I'm like not even a whole glass of wine in, but who knows? I've listened to episodes where I've crushed a whole bottle of wine, and I'm like, wait, I don't sound that drunk. Okay.
You know what? It's the power of editing, the magic of editing. If we could, if that made Carrie Fisher seem non-high on cocaine, we can make Kat Helston not like 3 wine glasses in. So, ooga.
Okay, so George and Leo is like a sitcom about 2 men whose children have gotten married.
Oh, yeah.
And they're now in each other's lives. And it's just, I need more episodes of this. Anybody else has more episodes of George and Leo, tweet me at CatDVS, because I need them.
Yeah, she needs it right now.
I need them bad.
Oh, yeah, she needs it so bad.
Like, I'm in love with this show.
I know, like, this show should have been like 2.5 men. It should have been on for like 11 years.
Oh my god, for real.
Maybe a spin-off with Jason Bateman, who knows? Or Robyn Lively, they get divorced, and Robyn Lively goes off. She leaves Martha's Vineyard. She goes to Providence, Rhode Island, and she, I don't know, opens up her own little diner. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? marries somebody new. Marries Will Arnett.
Oh my goodness.
What a show.
Yes. Patrick, what channel did this series air on?
All right, this show was a CBS show. Our boys at the Tiffany Network, they were all about the show. So this episode aired on, you ready?
I am.
November 24th, 1997. It was a Monday night. Oh yeah, Monday nights are a bitch. We know that, right?
Yes.
And before we paint the world of George and Leo, before we get to the colorful world of George and Leo, you want to go through a quick run-through of that hot night of television? Because this is a hot night of television.
This has got to be like right before Thanksgiving that year.
I think this is the Monday before T-Day, before Turkey Day.
Mm-hmm.
We got some sweepsy type things on. We got all new episodes of like everything.
Yeah.
Everything under the sun. So you ready?
Yeah.
You ready to start with our boys at ABC, the alphabet? You ready to get down and dirty with them?
Yeah, this is just a few days before Thanksgiving. It was the 27th that year.
8 o'clock, Monday night. Champions of Magic 2. Do you know this? Because this is a special.
What channel is this from?
ABC.
Ooh, I don't think I ever watched ABC for a Magic special.
Yeah, it was just like a...
I remember watching like Fox for a Magic special.
I don't know. Stay tuned. We might get a competition. But this must have been a year of Magic, because I don't know. Tonight, Champions of Magic. I guess they were like a touring act. They occasionally did TV specials. I don't know. I don't really care. I hate Magic. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Rest of the night, it's Monday night. NFL on ABC. We got the Denver Broncos. Your boys. They beat the Oakland Raiders 31-3.
Yes. Suck it, Raiders.
Annihilated, girl.
Hate the Raiders.
All right.
Hate them.
You ready for a hot night at CBS?
Yeah, what else is happening on CBS this night?
All right, the night starts off kind of shitty, but then it gets better from there. At 8 o'clock, we start off with our former friend, no longer a friend. We ushered him away. We never speak his name. This is a show. We did it for episode 2.
Okay.
This is a sequel series. We're not even going to say the name of it. You can figure it out.
Yeah.
Cosby. Any hot guesses for I'm not ABC. I'm sorry. CBS 8:30. Any hot guesses? It's a Monday night. We've done this show. We've done this. We recently talked about it. I think you recently sent me a GIF from an episode of it for some reason. It stars one of our favorite actresses who's like always on television series. And we were just talking about how we wished the show that she was on last year got picked up.
Oh, Everybody Loves Raymond.
You got it. It took me a lot of clues, but I knew you were going to get it.
Yeah, when you said GIF, I was like, what have I sent him GIFs of lately?
I don't know, but I feel like I saw like, I don't know, like a character from Everybody Loves Raymond in GIF form recently.
Probably.
Any hot guesses for CBS 9 o'clock? This is a show we've done before. We've talked about it a few times recently. I was surprised that it was on this late. I didn't realize that it went on to 1997. I thought this show ended like earlier.
Murphy Brown?
Yeah, girl, you got it.
Because I was still watching Murphy Brown this year.
I know. Like, what year did Murphy Brown end? Was this like the final season?
Like, this was the final season, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
If it's not this season, it's the next season.
Was it still like a bankable thing in 1997? Because I feel like I never heard about it anymore. Like after like the Dan Quayle potato episode.
I honestly can't recall. I just know it was a show I loved and I watched every week. I remember sitting in the General Hospital Port Charles chat room on portcharles.com, soapnet.com, whatever it was, like...
Talking about Murphy Brown?
On a Monday night, watching it and talking with, like, the other people in the chat room that night.
Talking about Vanessa Marcel with other people?
Yeah.
All right, coming up at 9:30 on CBS, a show that we're doing tonight, George and Leo. We'll get to you soon. But at 10 o'clock, a Stephen Baccio series, Brooklyn South. Ooga. I think we just talked about this recently. I feel like we just brought it up.
Yeah. I feel like it came up in something.
Yeah, it was a 2-season series. It was just kind of like Stephen Baccio just needed another cop show, and I don't know. Maybe they showed a butt or two. Who knows? You ready for a hot night at Fox? Ready for a bomb-ass night at Fox? All right, things kick off with Melrose Place. Our fave. Shout out to our gals and guys over at our favorite complex. In a little place in Melrose. But following Melrose Place is Breaking the Magician's Code. Ooh, God, remember that? Remember Magic Secrets finally being revealed?
I think I probably watched that.
There was a few of them. I know there was a few of them. I totally watched like the first 2. And then I just kind of like, all right, you know what?
Yeah.
Not impressed. I think that just kind of like ruined Magic for me. you ready for a lit night at NBC? Tonight is like comedy times a million. Do you have any guesses of like what the lineup is? Just throw some names out there. I'll tell you you're right.
Suddenly Susan, Mad About You, Caroline in the City, The Naked Truth.
Oh, you got 3 out of 4. You got Suddenly Susan, Caroline in the City, and The Naked Truth. But Mad About You was not on tonight. Instead, tonight was Fired Up. Remember Fired Up?
Didn't we just talk about this the other day? I feel like we talked about this recently.
We did. This had Sharon Lawrence in it and Leah Remini.
Okay.
And they were like...
Oh, yeah.
They were fired from their job, like, I don't know, their high-profile jobs, and then they just, like, started their own company or something. I think that was the premise.
Yes.
It was fun. It was a fun little show. And then Close of the Night was our fave. Dateline. Ooh, God, yeah.
Okay.
Good times. And I think you got the order right, except for Fired Up. So just take Mad About You and replace it with Fired Up. So
that is like kind of scary that I did that.
I mean, we've done this a bunch of times. We know the year. You just gotta place the right show with the right year. Am I right, girl?
Pretty much. I mean, but still, that's scary.
It is
that my brain holds that information.
It is, because you know what? We're gonna ask Joe from Twitter, like, what was on Monday night on NBC in 1997. He's gonna be like, Seinfeld, Friends, like the only 2 shows that people know. Will and Grace, no, that ain't a thing yet, girl or boy.
No, she's off playing Stacy at this point.
Yeah, she's probably like wrapping up Nan and Stacy, getting ready to play Grace instead. I almost said Will. Sorry. All right. You ready to take us into the world of George and Leo? I think we should you watched a few more episodes than me. I think you should go over the basic premise. We'll do a character rundown, and then we'll get into the episode. How does that sound?
Okay.
How does that sound?
That sounds good. Okay, like I said, I am, like, in love with this show.
Yeah.
Like, I found the episode we watched for the podcast so enjoyable.
It was fun. It was a good romp.
Seriously, like, you guys, you need to seek this out. It was just, it's that good.
I know
it's just so good.
I know we thrown some, like, one season wonders at you in the past, but, like, if you actually want to, like, have a fun night of television, see some old friends, this is the show. And you know what? It kind of has, like, Newhart vibes from his previous shows, too, because he's so subtle.
It's got some Newhart vibes, but because it's a little wacky, but it's not too wacky. It's not like that wacky.
And he does the same kind of thing where he plays like
he's the straight man.
He's a straight man. He just reacts to the crazy people around him. So it's great. All right, I'll let you get into it.
We got George, okay, played by Bob Newhart.
Oh yeah.
And Bob Newhart's actual first name is George.
Yes.
We're still on that cash cow of being named after himself. So he's like this straight-laced guy. He spent the majority of his career working in mutual funds, making bank. He's got 3 kids.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's got George Jr., Chad. Chip.
It's Chip, I'm sorry. Not
Chip.
Chad.
Yeah, Chip and Ted. Now, Ted is played by Jason Bateman. He is a chef. He has just recently started a new restaurant with his new bride. Oh my God, what was her name?
Was it Casey? I felt like it was a Casey.
I think it was Casey. It was Robyn Lively. That's all that matters.
All right, so Robyn Lively was actually the second actress to play his wife. And
yes.
Like the first 7 episodes, it was another actress, but...
It's not even the first 7. It's like the first 2, and then Robyn takes over.
Okay, all right. Excellent upgrade, I think, because...
Yes.
We love ourselves some Robyn Lively. Big fan of the livelihood of the show.
Okay, so Ted, because it's going to come up in this episode, Ted feels like he's kind of like the loser son of the family. He's the youngest. He's the one who's gotten the most trouble throughout his life so far. He's got a brother who's like a doctor and a brother who's a lawyer. And then there's just like him who owns a restaurant. Like,
yeah,
he very much feels bottom of the barrel in this family.
He does. And we kind of get into it in this episode because I gathered the other 2 brothers aren't really main characters in the show. They're mostly mentioned.
They're not. I think they just mentioned from, I don't even know if the other one shows up because I haven't been able to watch everything, but.
Okay.
So we have Ted, we have his wife Casey, who is pregnant. They got married after they got pregnant. On their wedding, the day before their wedding, Leo shows up because Ted has tracked him down and invited him to the wedding because he hasn't seen his daughter since she was 10 or something. It's been a while.
And I love Leo's backstory. This just makes the show so much better. This is great. So Leo is Judd Hirsch, right?
Yes.
Judd Hirsch.
Judd Hirsch.
And Leo is, I guess, a Las Vegas native who's on the run from the mob? Is that?
Yes, 100%.
All right. I got that right.
100%.
All right.
You did.
All right.
He's like a con man, a magician, because he can do little magic tricks. You know, he's like that sweet-talking guy who's been married like 9 times.
And he pissed off Tony Soprano, and now Tony Soprano is after him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Metaphorically, not the actual Tony Soprano.
Not the actual Tony Soprano, but close enough. So, okay, before the wedding, he stole a bunch of money from the mob and flew straight to Martha's Vineyard. The mob tracked him down, and first he tried to have George pretend he was Leo, and George was like, hell no! This mob guy just showed up at George's house and was looking for Leo. He's like, okay, Leo, because he didn't know what Leo looked like. He just knew he was looking for, an old white guy.
Oh, okay.
And George is like, no.
He just happened to fit the bill?
You know, Leo was going to let the mob kill him, and then, because, he was going to go off with the mob guy, and he tells George, there's a bag upstairs in my room. It's got 25G in it. I want you to take that and give that to Casey and tell her I love her. And, you know, George puts the pieces together. He's like, wait, the money's upstairs. So he doesn't let Leo get killed. He saves Leo's life.
Ooh, okay. So that's what, in this episode, George and Leo kind of introduce themselves as best friends, but that it's complicated. So that's what they meant.
Complicated? You didn't hear that very often, back in the day. I feel like that was a phrase that really came about from Facebook relationship statuses.
I want to throw this up there. This is a very heavy concept for a sitcom. I feel like that might have something to do with maybe why it wasn't so hot.
Maybe. I mean, basically, it's an odd couple situation, though.
It is. You know what? 1997, was that a really mobby time in pop culture? I mean, maybe we had Analyze This.
I think it was the start. I feel like that was kind of the start, the mobby culture, because that's around the time General Hospital started to drift more mob focused. And it's right before The Sopranos comes. Yeah, it's before The Sopranos comes. It's around the time, they're probably developing the movie with Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry, The Whole 9 Yards or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Amanda Peet? Is it Amanda Peet that's in that?
Yes, Amanda Peet.
That was the most Amanda Peetiest time in America. Can you remember those years? It's just Amanda Peet was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was her, Jenna Elfman.
Yeah, you don't see Amanda Peet very often anymore.
No, where the fuck has she been? What you been up to lately?
I don't know. Now I want to know.
I know. Well, you know what? Let's do an Amanda Peet corner. I'll sit here and I'll talk about how she was great in The Whole 9 Yards and The Whole 10 Yards. Did they do a sequel, The Whole 10 Yards?
Yeah, they did.
So original, such an original name, right? You know what? Let's take this popular slogan and add a number to it.
She's got 3 kids.
With who?
I don't know. She was last on the show Dirty John.
Oh, that's a show on Bravo that Connie Britton did. It's based on a podcast, and they change out the story every year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or am I thinking of another show? I don't know.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, she's on that? Bitch is on that?
Yeah, she was on that. Oh, wait, she was on the second season.
Okay, she's the girl. She's the Connie Britton of that. I
think she's...
I have an idea. I have a hot idea for a new sitcom coming in the fall of 2021. You ready for this?
Hit me with it.
The Peets, starring Amanda Peet and Holly Robinson Peet as a married couple. What do you think of this? What do you think of that?
I don't know. Holly Robinson Pete's got a lot going on over at Hallmark.
She could take a few weeks off. This ain't gonna last for a long time. I don't know, but you know what? they want to have a child, and they each want to bring in one of their ex-boyfriends as, like, the sperm donor, and they argue over who the sperm donor is going to be.
Okay, so who are, like, the ex-boyfriends?
Alright, so I'm trying to think. They're probably, like, what, in their, like, mid-40s? They're in their last few years of being able to make a child.
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like Holly Robinson Pete is gonna want some like young hot stud. You know what? Her last boyfriend was probably like Jesse Metcalf was her last boyfriend.
Okay.
And Amanda Pete, I think, goes for like the older, distinguished guy. So I'm thinking, think of an older. I don't know. Roger Sterling, maybe.
Doesn't he have a new show this season?
He does? What?
Some, like, sci-fi thing?
Oh, shit. No, I didn't know this. Sorry.
Oh, she was in the Way, Way Back.
Amanda Pete?
Yeah. God, that's a good movie. I need to rewatch that.
Yeah. You know what? Movie night, we'll do the Way, Way Back, even though it's like 5 years old. If even that.
Oh, that was a good movie.
All right.
She's doing stuff here and there. She was on The Good Wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's just kind of popping up here and there. Nothing like...
It's not like the whole 11 yards.
No.
You know what? How about do, like, Ocean's the whole 10 yards? It's just like a crossover between the whole 9 yards and the Ocean's 11 universe. I'm down for it. Then that way you can get, like, everybody that's ever been an actor in that same movie.
I mean...
They got nothing going on right now. They could probably throw the script together in a weekend. Let's be real. I mean, I saw the Ladies Ocean 11. It wasn't that hot, right?
Ocean's 8 or whatever it was?
Whatever it was. I don't know. It's no Invisible Man. I'll tell you that. All right. Have we finished going through the hot George and Leo cast? Because we kind of got in like a little like...
That is like the main cast. That is our core four.
All right. I stand. And then we have some like tertiary characters.
Oh, wait. There's Ambrose.
Yeah, Ambrose.
Who works for George at the bookstore. He's like your sassy black gay guy.
Oh, he was a gay guy? I didn't pick... I knew he...
I think so. I think that's what was implied.
Oh, shit.
I mean, it is 1997, so I could be wrong.
You know what?
But that's the way I read Ambrose.
Are we just thinking of, like, of him as the gay guy from Designing Women? Are you just, like, mixing him in with that?
No, Anthony wasn't gay.
He wasn't?
No!
Whoa, did I read that show wrong?
Oh, what am I gonna do with you, Patrick?
This is my take on Anthony. I feel like he kind of came to Martha's Vineyard.
No, Ambrose, you mean?
What did I say, Anthony?
Yeah.
Alright, sorry. Alright, this is my take on Ambrose. I feel like his family, they vacationed every summer in Martha's Vineyard. He really liked it. He really took to the land. He's like, you know what? I kind of see myself living here someday. So he like, moved out. Mm-hmm. Actually, he didn't even move out. He like went one summer with his family. His family went back to the mainland, and he stayed. He probably slept at like a fun, cute little bed and breakfast. And he's like, oh, I gotta find a job. I gotta get like a fun little job. And George rolled into town. He bought the bookstore. He was hiring. He hired Ambrose. I don't know. Like they kind of had like fun little banter between the two of them. I loved it.
Yeah, they do.
And it was great. And you know what? I think this is going to take us into the cold open, because this is kind of...
Yes, it does.
This is a different time. We're going to throw this out there. 1997 is a whole different world. Mm-hmm. It's, what, the night before Thanksgiving at this point?
It's like the day before the night before. So it's like Tuesday night.
All right, it's Tuesday. It's a hot Tuesday. I'm guessing the bookstore is closed on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's my guess.
I don't think it was closed on Wednesday. It's just we don't see it that day.
We didn't head into town on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. They're closing up on Tuesday. George, he's like closing the cash register, just, putting the money in the little folder, get ready to take it to the bank. And he's just like chit-chatting with Ambrose, his boy. And he's like, hey, what are you doing this Thanksgiving? He's going to spend some time with family. And Ambrose is like, I don't really get any family here. I'm kind of on my own. It's an island. We got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And he's like, you'd be fucking perfect. Why don't you come over? Like, my two sons are coming with already my weird son that you already know, kind of. And, I don't know, some, like, my brother, my senile brother's coming.
It's like, I'm going to feel out of place. And George immediately thinks, why? Because you're black? He's like, no, because I'm not family. Just gets 1997 politically correct awkward.
It was. And the audience is rolling, though. Like, the scanned audience laughter is just, like,
yes,
ridiculously laughing at this. So... I'm thinking, all right, this is the last we see of Ambrose. He's gone. This is the cold open. But no, it's like the next scene, and he's in it, and it's Thanksgiving.
You're jumping ahead.
Am I? Sorry. Sorry.
So, they get the bookstore closed. George and Leo are at dinner at the restaurant. Like, Leo's there, and George just sits down.
Does Leo own this restaurant?
The son owns it.
Oh, that's right.
The son and daughter own it.
Sorry. But Leo's always there, right?
Yeah. I mean, Leo's just everywhere all the time. Like, everywhere. They sit down. They don't even order. They're just, food's just given to them, like, on TV.
I love it.
And Ted is like, Dad, you're going to be so excited. I know we have the family party tomorrow night. I'm making this, like, chowder thing you like or whatever. And, like, George is all excited. Like, George is excited because his son's going to be there. They convinced his niece to come in, who's going through a divorce. He thinks of her more like a daughter. He's excited. As much as a Bob Newhart character can be excited.
I mean, he doesn't wear his excitement on his sleeve. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's like, he has like a slight smile for half a second, and you're like, hey, Grandpa's happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of excitement that our boy Bob Newhart is. So I want to point out a few things about this restaurant scene. So
yes.
Ted, a.k.a. Jason Bateman, he owns it, is the cook. Both, like, combo kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he serves, too?
I think it's really, like, just him and his wife. I don't think there's, like, any other employee at this point.
I'm assuming this is, like, a brand new venture, right?
Yes, it is. It's very new.
All right. And it's Martha's Vineyard in November, so there's probably, like, 4 people on the island right now.
Probably.
And they're all going to fucking George's house?
Like, it's just the locals. It's just the locals at this point, really. And the people coming in for, like, a scenic Thanksgiving or whatever.
This place is hopping in the summer, but after Labor Day, business trickles down. And they keep it open for the locals, or they're just there because the dad likes to eat, and he can just go to his son's restaurant.
I think they keep it open for the locals. So it's like a real, like, local spot.
Okay.
It's not just a tourist spot that opens for 3 months out of the year.
I will point out that Leo does show up, and he's wearing his classic Thanksgiving tie.
That's the next scene. You're jumping ahead again.
I'm sorry.
So, because we're at the restaurant, and Ted is, like, really, like, playing up Thanksgiving to his father. But then, when he goes back into the kitchen, he's like, I freaking hate Thanksgiving. And his wife is like, why? What's wrong with it? He's like, my brothers are going to be there, and my dad has this tradition where we all have to stand up and say, like, what we're thankful for. And, every year I have to hear George Jr. and Chip say they're thankful that I graduated top of my class in medical school, or I work for the president, or whatever. It's, he's like, me, I own a restaurant. Like, he feels very bottom of the food chain.
I don't know. I'm, like, pretty impressed that he owns a restaurant. I was like, oh,
I know.
He's better off than me.
For real. I mean, I get why he kind of feels like he's at the bottom of the barrel, because his brothers are so, like, outwardly successful. It's the keeping up with the Joneses type thing where one works for, like, the president or something, the other's a doctor and is married to a princess, and
like the Princess of Norway or something, I think.
Yes. That comes up in, like, the next scene.
Yeah, we get a line, and we'll get to it, and then. But anyway,
we get a lot in a short amount of time.
Yeah, you know what? I think we've talked about this before. Holiday episodes of, like, 90s and 80s, and most sitcoms, especially first season holiday episodes, it tends to be like hey, this is the one that people are probably going to watch. Let's just bring in, like, a boat ton of exposition. Because we get, like, everything ever in this episode. It explains most of the episode series.
They're great places to drop into a series.
It's great. And it works. Especially the Thanksgiving episode. Because when we did Out of Practice a few years ago.
Yeah, it, like, laid it all out there for you.
I wasn't watching this, like, struggling through the episode going, I wonder why Ted's so upset about his brothers. Or, I wonder why Leo's on the lam. Or, like, they just kind of, like...
Yeah.
They just dropped these little exposition hints, and it was great. I loved it. And it was awesome. I appreciate it. Shout out to November Sweeps.
Then it's like the next night, and we're at George's house, and it's like the family party, and Ted and Casey are by the fireplace, and he sees that his brothers have already sent out their family Christmas cards, and he's like talking about them and bitching about them, and he's like, ugh. The wife is like, oh yeah, your brother George Jr. even like got a guy to look like Santa Claus. He's like, no, that's his father-in-law, the King of Norway. And she's like, wait, hold up. It's like, I told you he married a princess. She's like, I thought you just meant she was a bitch. I loved that.
That was a hot line. That was great. And then
because it was just like so perfect.
All right, now can I talk about Leo's Thanksgiving tie?
Yes.
Oh god.
Yes.
So like Leo shows up and he's like wearing a tie. George is like super impressed. He's like, oh my god, Leo, you wear a tie. And he's like, wait, are those pilgrims? And he's like, oh yeah, they are. And he's like, are they doing sexual acts? He's like, oh yeah, they are.
He's like, what are they doing? He's like, oh, they're making love. And what are the Indian stick? They're filming it.
Remember those like t-shirts with like lizards on it and like different sex positions or whatever?
Yeah.
Like that's all I like envisioned when I saw that tie. Well, we didn't really see it, but we saw the character wear it.
We didn't see it. Like it just looks like a basic, like it's the kind of thing you have to be like up close to see.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it was great. It was a fun little throwaway line. Oh. And then like Ambrose is there. He just like, like he made it seem like he was not going to show up, but he's there. I guess like one of George's older brothers are there.
Yeah, like George's older brother is there, and he has trouble with names.
Yep, so he comes up.
He cannot remember who Ted is.
So he comes up, and Ted and Ambrose are talking.
Yes, this is amazing. I love this. So he's like trying to figure out who like Ted is, and Ted's like, Ted knows what's happening. Ted is aware, and he's like, well, I'm Ted. I'm George's son. And then the guy looks at Ambrose, and Ted's like, this is my brother, George Jr. And the guy doesn't even blink, doesn't question it one bit. He goes, oh, George Jr., how are you? And Ambrose is like, wait, what the fuck is happening?
It comes up a few times in the episode too. That old brother just like thinks that's George Jr. And it's a fun little. You know what? It was a good like recurring gag. I think they did it like maybe 2 or 3 times in the episode, and it worked.
Yeah, I think it comes up a couple more times. And then we get to meet the niece.
Yes, Martha.
Who...
She's like, she works at Harvard, or she's a professor.
Yeah, she's like a professor or something.
She's like high astute.
And,
she's like high class, upper class all the way.
Yeah. Very hoity-toity.
Yeah, and she was married for many years, but he left her for like a teacher's assistant or something.
Yes, because
so I guess
that's what men do, apparently.
I guess they were both professors, Martha and her husband, right?
Yes.
And he just wanted the TA. T&A from the TA.
Yes, exactly.
And she's been she's been dealing with it. And her way of dealing with it is just like repressing a lot of feelings. But I guess she kind of like linked up with some other co-workers or colleagues that have gone through like similar things that are they're kind of like in a weird way dealing with it in an unhealthy way, so they're not really processing this information. So she's just been kind of like building up for I'm guessing it's been months, like it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been months. And George is very protective of her.
He thinks of her like the daughter. I feel like George always wanted a daughter. Maybe
he's like, if you hurt her, I'm gonna go medieval on your ass, and it is just insane to hear those words come out of Bob Newhart's mouth.
And then Ted goes, medieval? Getting medieval?
Like, do you understand what that means?
And he's like, no, I just saw Pulp Fiction the other day. It was a line that they said in the movie.
And they're like, it's not a word. Don't use those.
But he says it a few times throughout the episode.
Yes.
It's great. All right, so then I guess Leo, our boy Judd Hirsch as Leo, like immediately takes a liking to Martha. He is like, oh, like you didn't tell me, George, that your niece was a fox.
Yeah, like he's like, ooh, I could get a little like action here. And George is like, don't do it. Don't do it.
But he approaches her.
Don't do it, man.
He approaches her. It's like pre-dinner. It's like right before dinner. Maybe they have like some hors d'oeuvres together. They share like, I don't know, it's like some like some apple cider, spiked apple cider together.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Martha, this is a tough year for Martha, so I feel like, you know what, she's going to be drinking a lot this year.
She's probably quite close to her Pinot Grigio, her Chardonnay, her Merlot.
Yep, she's always making sure that her glass is not empty.
And you know what? She is ready to make a bad decision.
She's away from home. For the most part, she's surrounded by family, except for this one guy that she doesn't know, Leo.
Yes.
Who's just kind of like shadowing her the whole night. He's just like, he's always there, and he's being very polite to her, very cordial.
Mm-hmm.
And they come from different worlds, you know, like he's a con artist. She's we'll say a psychology professor, we'll say.
Yeah.
But for some reason, she's like charmed by him, and she's like, oh. And George keeps coming in. He keeps like interjecting. He's like, it's like getting later on in the night, and like everyone's getting ready to leave. They're all getting ready to go home, and Leo's like, hey, can I stay for one more drink? And George is like, no. He's like, you got to go home. And he's like, oh man, I just want to stay for one more drink. Me and Martha are really like hitting off. He's like, no.
Bad Leo. So
Leo's like, all right, I'm gonna head out. So like George's like, all right. So like George goes upstairs. Leo, they're going through the facade that they're gonna say goodbye to each other. But then Martha, oh god, she like jumps on his lap and she's like, take me, Leo, take me right away.
Yeah.
And it cuts scene. Like we don't know what happens.
We can guess.
Yeah. Before we get any further, should we do George's other son comes in and talks to Ted for a bit?
Yes. Okay. So Chip.
Yeah.
The lawyer.
Who I got like very like JFK Jr. vibes from Chip for some reason.
Yeah. He looks familiar, and I am trying to find like what his name is.
I looked it up. I've never seen it before. Like, I don't know this guy at all.
Like, I know I've seen him in other stuff. I know I have.
I don't know. If you can prove otherwise, I'll welcome it.
He was on Friends as Mark.
Okay.
And he was in Bones, Castle, Bunheads. Southland. He was on 2.5 Men. Oh, okay. He was in a Hallmark movie.
He's a TV guy. He's a big TV guy. He's the JFK Jr. of TV.
He makes the rounds along TV. Like, he was on The West Wing, Boston Legal.
So, all right. What's his biggest... When you look at that list and you're like, all right, this is what he's known for. What is he known for?
In all honesty, what I would say he is probably most known for is his role in the Lifetime movie Comfort and Joy, which also starred Nancy McKeon.
Okay.
And he played her husband when she woke up and was like, wait, who the fuck are you?
Oh, that movie?
What do you mean I'm your wife and we have 2 kids? Yes.
Oh, fuck. That's him? I did not connect the... you know what?
Yeah.
He was such a forgettable guy. You know what? It's like you put Nancy McKeon in something, you got to forget who everybody else is. Am I right?
And then he was in another Hallmark movie from like 2008.
Oh, so he's like an early adapter for Hallmark movies. He's like old school.
But he's like not someone you see in them all the time.
He's not in A Christmas Miracle.
He kind of pops in.
He's not like acting opposite Josh Brennan, whatever that guy's name is.
Brennan Elliott.
That's it, Brennan. I knew it had the name Brennan in it.
But yeah, he was on The Naked Truth.
You know what? Was he on the episode of Naked Truth that was on tonight? Who knows?
Ooh, probably not, because it's from 1996, his credit. He was on Law and or LA Law, Melrose Place. He's been around for a while. Like, he got around. Like, Life Goes On, Jake and the Fat Man.
Oh, shit. You know, when we finally do Jake and the Fat Man, we're going to do an episode with Chip.
Hunter, Day by Day.
You have to talk about that name Chip for a second. That is the greatest name. Am I right?
It really is.
Was that the name of the guy on Route 66? Was his name Chip? I feel like it was for some reason.
I think it was.
And I think we had the same discussion, because I think I was like, what is it short for? Is it short for something, or is the name just Chip? But we learned it was just like a weird nickname, right? It was just like a weird name that people called their kids in the 60s for some fucking reason.
For some reason, yes.
I don't know. Who knows? Shut up.
I can't picture what name you get and you go, Chip. That's my kid's name.
Chip. You know what? It's just a chip off the old block. That's where it came from.
Yeah. Probably.
You know what? George is the block, and Chip is the chip off the block. And you know what? He's a lawyer. He's worked for the Bush administration.
Oh my goodness.
I love it. I stand. All right, so Chip comes in to talk to Ted because Ted's been miserable like the last day and a half.
And you know what? Chip is kind of aware Ted feels like bottom of the rung.
Oh, he's totally aware of it because he comes in and he's like, "Hey, Ted, as your big bro, but not as your oldest bro. Your slightly older bro. Because George Jr. doesn't show up, right?
Yeah, George Jr. doesn't show up.
He's he's married to the princess of Norway. Is that?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So he's got better things to do. They don't believe in American Thanksgiving. Chip rolls into town. And he's like, he needs to talk to Ted. So he pulls Ted aside. He's like, hey, when Dad goes over the he asks us to say what we're thankful for. I want to be in a little bit of a pickle this year, Ted. It's going to be a tough year for me. You want to be Ted?
Ted's like, what do you mean?
Oh, well, you know how I sent out those hot postcards last week where it's like me and all my law firm buddies. We're at the golf course doing some hot golfing, and I got the perfect score.
Yeah?
It's all a facade. Guess what happened? Guess what happened to me last week? Guess what happened?
What? What happened, Ted?
You mean Chip. You mean what happened, Chip?
Or Chip, yeah, sorry. I'm on my second glass, okay?
I was like, wait, am I Ted? I was like, should I be like sauteing the shrimp? All right, I didn't get the promotion. I didn't get named partner.
Oh, so sorry.
They asked the other guy instead. The other guy who started at the same time as me. He was in the Carter administration. Apparently my other partners are Democrats and not Republicans, so they kind of look down on me. I made that part up, but it seemed like a good line to throw in there.
Yeah, I'm like, I think it might be the other way around because it's 97.
Well, he said he was in the Bush administration, so I was kind of confused.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
It was confusing. Chip got fired from his job, essentially.
Yeah, basically because he asked why he didn't get the promotion.
And his bosses are snooty.
Yeah.
They're of high society, and apparently that is very offensive to do if you're an up and coming lawyer. You just gotta like wait your time out, I guess, is the thing to do when you're a lawyer. I don't know. I don't know lawyer rules. But he got fired. He's like, you know what? I just thinking of doing my life over now. You know what?
He came up with this idea to go to Africa. And
yeah, he wanted to be
teach or something.
I don't know. I guess go to poor towns and teach young kids about law. I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know.
So Ted had a big fucking smile on his face, but he's trying to be remorseful and oh, I'm so sorry. He's trying to be empathetic.
There is part of him that is just so happy that his brother doesn't have some boastful news.
All right, so Ted's excited. Ted's cloud nine, and he tells Casey. Casey's she goes along with it. She's just she entertains it. She's like, good for you, I guess.
Yeah.
When I'm pregnant, I got a fetus to worry about, so I'm just going to bed. It's the next morning. George wakes up. He's sitting in the kitchen, and Martha comes downstairs in her night robe,
dressed the way people only dress on TV.
Yeah, it's everyone's always so prim and proper in the morning. It's wild.
I mean, Patrick's seen pictures of me first thing in the morning, and I'm just
yeah, you're fuck you. I need my coffee. I need
my fucking coffee.
But you know what? For someone who was up all night getting plowed,
yeah,
literally and figuratively, she looks very well kept. Unless she took a shower, maybe she took a long warm bath after.
Maybe.
I don't know. Who knows? But
I don't know. Wouldn't part of you kind of want to wash Leo away?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
She's totally down to keep Matt fooling around with him any chance she can, because she's just I'm gonna be naughty and get what I can while I'm here. But part of her is just I can't believe this is who I'm doing.
Saturday, after Thanksgiving, she probably thought about it and was ugh.
Yeah.
But anyway, she comes downstairs. I guess she's being the spy. She has to come down, make sure the house is clear. So she talks to George in the kitchen, and I don't know. She's she like yells like a code word, like, I'm in the kitchen, George is in the kitchen. So like Leo like runs down the stairs.
Or it's like, thank you so much for making me fresh coffee, Uncle George. So like he knows that he can like hurry down and get out of there so he can go back to his room above the bookstore.
But he comes down and his pants are, he's like holding his pants, he's in his underwear, and he like runs out the door.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that idea. Like, you know what? Like Leo wasn't putting his pants on like while he was like, well, Martha went down to like
scope it out.
Yeah, like scope it out. No, like he just waited and then like ran down. Oh, I don't know. Like, you know what? Maybe something happened. Maybe he was in the bathroom and like Ted came by or something. So like he left the pants in the bedroom. I don't know.
Maybe.
But anyway, so Leo takes off, and then it's like the real Thanksgiving now. Now it's like actually Thanksgiving night. Ambrose shows up. Ambrose is back. He has to deal with these fucking guys all weekend long.
Oh my god.
He's just like, you know what? I just wanted to like, I was gonna stay home. I was gonna, you know, it was like Home Alone was gonna be on tonight on ABC. I was gonna watch it.
Like, I'm gonna watch the Home Alone on the NBC, you know, nice little tradition we got for a few years.
Yeah, like on the opposite channel was E.T.
He's like, you know what? I want some goddamn turkey made by some white people.
And he showed up, and you know what? They all wore good sweaters to this thing. It was great. I loved it.
Yes.
Especially Jason Bateman wears great sweaters. So.
Oh my god. Yes. Bateman had the best. Like, Jason Bateman, I want him on like a sitcom again.
He's been on so many sitcoms, so it's great. But his 90s vibe.
Oh.
I'm going to throw this out there. I remember Jason Bateman from the 80s. He was like a young kid. He was on what, like Silver Spoons, Hogan's Family. He was a zen little guy. Then he kind of like went away for a while.
Yeah.
He just kind of like dipped away. But I know he was in things because I remember like I would see things that he was in. And then you didn't really think about him again until Arrested Development. Then all of a sudden it was like Jason Bateman mania.
Like he was doing stuff, but it was like
low key.
Random stuff like Teen Wolf 2 or Necessary Roughness.
Yeah, so we never got to see his cool 1997 haircut. Like in full glory, like from a mainstream perspective.
Yeah, like he just kind of like dipped in. He did like TV movies.
Oh, did he?
He did a couple TV movies like Crossing the Mob in 1988, Moving Target 1988.
Crossing, we have to find
A Taste for Killing 1992. Confession: Two Faces of Evil from 1994. This Can't Be Love in 1995. I need to know more about all of these.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to do Jason Bateman filmography night on our Patreon. We're going to go through it one by one. We're going to analyze it and talk about his hairstyle and his sweaters. And then we'll close with Ozark.
Like he had a few, it looks like he was on a couple of other one season shows.
He was just that guy that was just always around. You know, like people are going to be like, hey, it's Jason Bateman. Remember him from Hogan's Family? And like, yeah, but then they move on. Or they forget about it. They never watch the show again. But I don't know. I guess it just took a long time for him to re-click back in society.
You know what? He kept trying, though. He kept trying. He did not give up.
Oh, he was throwing the darts at the wall and, you know, see what would stick.
Yeah.
Good for him. You know what? Shout out to Fox for giving Arrested Development 3 seasons.
And Netflix for giving it 2 more.
I don't even know if I give that a shout out. That's
which is 1 season too many.
4 was all right. Season 5 is 1 season too many. So it's Thanksgiving night. We kind of just like get right to dinner, don't we? It's just kind of everyone's like, hey, let's go.
Yes, we did have this part before, like when the brothers were in the kitchen, they were talking, and Chip is like, you know, it's going to be hard to tell Dad about this. And Ted's like, oh, well, you know, it'll be really hard once you see his disappointed face. And Chip's like, what disappointed face?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Ted's like, oh, you've probably only seen it from the profile. And this is where Chip reveals to Ted that Ted is actually the one George is closest to. George's favorite is probably Ted. Because he sold the house in Boston and moved to Martha's Vineyard. And Ted is like, well, he got a good deal. And Chip is like, no, he got screwed.
Yeah, he bought at top of the market.
Yeah.
And now he's like upside down on this thing. And he's like, in that bookstore that he's running, oh, that thing's a mess. No one's buying fucking used books in Martha's Vineyard, no.
It's not used books. It's not used books.
Is it new books?
Yeah.
Well, no one's going to Martha's Vineyard to buy books, I'll tell you that. So Ted feels a little bit better.
Yes.
When it comes time for Chip to, like, say what he's thankful for, I guess that's when he was going to reveal to his family that he got fired from his job. But he went back on it, and he's like, oh, you know what, I resigned.
He's like, I resigned. We're going to go do missionary work in Africa.
Yeah, actually, that happened first. Then he talked to Ted after about...
Oh, being the favorite, yeah.
Yeah, because Ted, like, felt slighted. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, you know, you promised me that you're going to, like, reveal to the family that you're a shitty human. He's like, you couldn't even do that. He's like, you know what? I'm out here fucking struggling. He's like, I've been arrested. I failed out of college the first time.
Yeah.
I barely passed high school. I, like, this restaurant, like, I make it seem like that I'm doing hot, but, like, I'm, like, way in debt on this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And Chip's like, you know what? First years of a restaurant are always the worst. Like, no one ever comes out on top.
Like, he actually says something where, like, Ted's kind of down on himself. Oh, we're only making, like, this much. And his brother, like, Chip is like, wait, really? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually, like, really impressed.
Yeah, so we kind of get, like, a little Chip-Ted reconciliation right here. And that kind of, like, concludes that storyline for the most part. And I'm guessing we never see Chip again. He just come back into the show.
Yeah, I don't think we get to see Chip again. I think it's one episode.
I mean, I'm sure he was on the payroll.
You know, because we only have one season.
And, I mean, I'm sure he would have came back and we would have eventually gotten to meet George Jr., but never happened.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure, like, season 2, Chip would have, like, shown up, like, haggard after a year in, like, Africa or whatever, and, like, the wife has left him and took the kids and is like, I'm gonna go find a man who can make money.
It would have been like Herb.
Bye, bitch.
Herb, Homer's half-brother.
Yeah.
Down on his luck. All right, so then the storyline that we need to wrap up is Martha and Leo. So, like, Martha...
Yes.
So I guess, like, Martha, like, I guess stole Leo's key to the bookstore, and she's just, like, there. Like, she's, like, in the stacks, like, waiting.
Yeah, she's, like, hiding. Okay, so she's up in Leo's room. Leo lives in a room above the bookstore.
Oh, he does.
In the pilot episode, he kind of just claims it as where he's gonna live once he realizes he can't go back to Vegas. And George is like, no! But he just kind of, like, lets it happen because he's a good guy.
So it's just like his office, and he just, like, has, like, a fucking fold-out sofa.
No, it's like an actual bedroom.
So Martha's there, and, like, Leo comes home, and she's, like, calling him up, and he's like, wait, listen, come downstairs, Martha. I gotta talk to you.
Because she's trying to get, like, one last round.
And he knows it, and deep down, she knows it. And, like, he's like, this is fun, but...
Yeah.
He's just worried about he has this, like, good thing going. Let's be real. He's got a good thing going. He's got this bookstore. He's finally kind of away from the mob, I guess. I don't really know.
The mob will leave him alone as long as he doesn't go back to Vegas.
Okay, so, like, he's like, you know what?
So as long as he stays in Martha's Vineyard...
But if he fucks things over with George, then he's going to leave Martha's Vineyard because it's a small island.
Yeah, and he's not going to really have anywhere else to go.
So he's like, all right, Martha, you're in a shitty position. I'm in a shitty position. You know what? You're on the rebound. I was just, like, your hot rebound sex. You know, we made love all night long, and she's like, all night?
Like, I was looking at that clock radio. I know exactly how long this took.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, you need to go. He's like, you just need to get out of here then. He's like, you just crushed my dreams. And she's like, all right, like, you know what? I feel more confident. I feel more empowered. Mm-hmm. I feel great. And, you know, good for her, because then, you know, she got what she needed to get out of her system, what she needed to move on. She just needed to fucking... get some Leo cock.
Yeah.
Move on. And she did. And you know what? And he got to save face with George, too.
Yeah, he had a nightmare where George was wearing the pilgrim tie.
And then he like, George is like, how do you want it? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, do you want it fast or slow? And he pulls out a shotgun.
No. It's, do you want it open or closed?
That was it. Okay.
And
the casket.
Leo's like, what are you talking about? He's like, your casket. And like, you see freaking Bob Newhart with this giant shotgun.
You know what?
It is amazing.
It was a weird visual, because I think that's the first time we ever got, like, non-straight man from Bob Newhart. He's the joke. Like, he is legit the joke.
Yeah.
And Leo wakes up from his nightmare, and he's like, oh, he's like, I'm still alive, thank God.
It's like, oh, thank God. He's like, yeah. And then, like, he wakes up, but George is right there.
He is, and it's creepy. It's kind of like creepy, but funny at the same time.
He's like, oh, hey, buddy. How we doing? We good, buddy? All good?
And George's like, yeah, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And he's like, oh, nothing.
Oh, we did forget there's one part at dinner with Ambrose.
Oh, yeah. What happens?
When they're going around saying what they're thankful for. Ambrose, the, like, Uncle Dick or whoever it is still thinks Ambrose is George Jr. And Ambrose gets up. He's like, I'm really thankful for all of the conversations about Ella Fitzgerald, Muhammad Ali, Jackie Robinson, like, the big names, black pop culture. And he goes, because I've never felt more black in my life. Thank you.
And the camera pans away and it just shows him surrounded by all these old white people.
All these old white people.
George's brother is like, good speech, George Jr. He's like taps him on the shoulder. It's great.
That's amazing. Great.
All right.
It's like, dude, do you have any concept of what's happening here?
That's pretty much the episode, right? I think we hit all the high notes.
It is.
All right.
It is, and it's just so much fun to watch.
It's a fun show. I
watched it twice.
I think you need to talk about this this cameo episode that you watched. I don't think you. All right.
The episode that aired the week prior, or whenever prior, like last new episode, it was probably the week prior because it's November sweeps, is an episode called Cameo. You can find it on YouTube. It's just amazing because it is filled with cameos of actors from previous series that Bob Newhart and Judd Hirsch are on.
Taxi characters.
Yeah. So it starts out with like this silent auction in town hosted at the restaurant, and Judd Hirsch's character Leo wins a van and he decides to start a taxi service.
I love it.
And at the silent auction, George wins an hour of free therapy. And so he's trying to give it, George goes to the office to give it back, and he walks into the doctor's office, and you see Carol and Jerry from the Bob Newhart show. And they're like, oh, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I'm here to see Dr. Harris. Oh, they're like, oh, you're finally going to therapy? He's like, no, I'm going to try and give him this so he can give it to one of his patients who needs the free hour or whatever.
Ooh.
And he goes in, he knocks on the doctor's office, and it's Peter Scolari, who is on Newhart. And then the group is the three guys from the group therapy from the Bob Newhart show, and a different little old lady. And then when Judd Hirsch is driving the van, he's got Jeff Conway from Taxi.
Wild. This is wild.
And the British lady from Dear John in the car. And then later he's got Mary Lou Henner in the car, and he's trying to hit on her. And he gets pulled over by the handyman from Newhart.
We have to do this episode someday. Well, we'll do it.
We do. And then, of course, at the end, I sent you the picture of the screen, and it was just perfect. It was freaking perfect.
It's Larry, Daryl, and Daryl.
And, oh, God, Judd Hirsch has a great line, because George has gone, and he, went into the kitchen for something, and Larry, Daryl, and Daryl come in. They talk to Judd Hirsch for a second. They don't say the line, but we all know who they are.
Oh, yeah.
We all know who they are.
Oh, for sure.
I think he says, I'm Larry, and these are my brothers, or whatever. And then they, leave, and then George comes back out, and he goes, oh, who's that? He's like, nobody I know. Oh, my God. Guys, this show is so good.
It is.
And we know how, hard it is. How picky I am.
Oh, yeah. All right, hold on. This is going to take us in to the next segment. On a scale of 1 out of 5 Bush administrations, how many Bush administrations would you give this episode?
I'm going to give it a 4.
Oh, well, I thought we were going to get a Cat 5. I thought we were going to get a Cat 5.
No.
Close.
It's close. It's close. I mean, it's close. It's a great episode. Okay.
All right.
Seriously, I was so excited. I felt happy watching this.
I forgot we were doing this, and I knew we had to watch something, and you were like, oh my God, this is wild. And you were sending me pictures of Larry, Daryl, and I don't know, Newhart characters, and I was like, what are we doing again? Did we decide to do Newhart? I'm like, oh, George and Lee.
What are we doing?
All right. I'm going to give my score. I thought about this long and hard.
Okay.
I think I'm going to give it the same scores here. I think I'm going to give it a 4 Bush administrations. I really enjoyed this. This is a fun, quirky little show. We got to see actors that we like.
Yes.
Acting together under the same roof. And I, low-key wanted more. I was like, oh, man, I wish the show just, went on. High-key wanted more. I was like, man, I wish we got, 8 more years of this.
For real. Oh, my God. I
am thankful for what we got, though.
I wish that 16-year-old Kat and Patrick had watched this and appreciated it when we had it.
I will tell you, 16-year-old me would not want to watch this show. This would be, way out of my hemisphere. I mean, maybe I'd probably, watch it for Newhart.
Yeah.
I don't think... It had a lot of, adult humor to it. I think it was just a lot that I wouldn't like as, I think, a 16-year-old.
Oh, this is totally the week I had the broken fingers.
Ooh, Kat broke her fingers. Shout out to that.
Yes. I broke my fingers in November of 97 playing volleyball in gym class.
Did you do that Daria thing where you're the ball goes by you, you throw your hand up after it rolls by you?
No, I did. I was down to get it, and it was in gym class, and I got put on a group with a bunch of the varsity sports kids.
Ooh.
And one of them pounded the ball, and it came down, and my index and middle finger on my left hand went back.
Ooh.
And all day, I had ice on it for a whole freaking day, and everybody's like, oh no, it's fine, until my dad finally took me to the doctor, and they had to get x-rays, and oh, you broke your middle finger.
Did they buddy tape it? Did they do the buddy tape?
I had the metal splints and stuff because I sprained the right one and I broke the middle one.
Not fun.
And then I couldn't do the flag performance at homecoming this week because I couldn't maneuver the flags with the splints because this was homecoming week.
You know what? When we get the time machine...
Oh, God.
When we get the time machine, we're going back. We're going back and we're going to let Kat not break her fingers, and she's going to do the flag thing. And you know what? The future will be a brighter place. All right. I'm excited about next week. We're going back to a world we've kind of stepped out of for the last 2 years.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. For a sec, I was trying to think what it was, and then I remembered. I'm so excited for this.
All right, so this used to be our Halloween staple. We'd visit Lanford. We'd go spend some time at the Lanford Lunchbox. We're going to go to the Lanford Lunchbox for Thanksgiving. Actually, I don't think it's open yet. It's not a thing yet.
It's not yet. If we're only in season 2, honey.
All right, so we're going back to a season 2 episode of Roseanne. Who knows what was going on in the world of Roseanne at this time? We'll figure it out. Was Jackie still a cop? Probably, right?
No.
Roseanne still worked at the plastic factory, I'm guessing.
They quit the plastic factory together.
Was George Clooney in it yet?
No, this is after George.
All right, so we're AG. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to revisit this world. We get to see the original Becky. We get to see what's up with OG Becky. Not Sarah Chalke.
Who's the superior Becky?
Who is the superior Becky? And the original series. In the Connors, I kind of like Lacey. I'm not gonna lie.
I am not happy with the direction they took Becky in the series. I understand why choices were made, but I have feelings.
I am not happy with the direction they took Becky in either, but I did like in the actual first back as Roseanne season, I liked her storyline, and then I started to like her storyline in the first season of the Connors before I dipped out. But I was like, you know what? Shout out to Lacey for coming back and making me like her as Becky when I always thought Sarah Chalke was the superior Becky. So I don't know. We live in 3 different timelines right now. So
we really do.
Which Roseanne timeline are you in? All right, we'll get to it next week. We'll get down and dirty. We'll get to the bottom of it. We'll figure it out. Who's the best Becky?
Yes, we will.
We'll have a Becky bout. How about that?
Yes.
All right, so join us next week. And where can you follow our wild-ass adventures, Kat? I'll said the author. Where can you follow us?
You can follow us on Twitter at Very Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr at A Very Special Podcast. Do not accept imitations. Nobody wants rotten lasagna. You can find us pretty much anywhere you listen to a podcast. You've found us, so subscribe.
Yes, do it. Do it often. Do it all the time. And as always, Carol, bye. Peace out.
I'm like, that's not Watch the Skies.
I'm working on some new things. We're mixing it up.